Long time no see, everyone. It's your old Major Cargon back at it again. This time with something I hope fills you with glee, because it's a wrap up for February 2023. As always, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and comments are very, very much appreciated. So for those unaware, or if you're new here or you've forgotten what this is, I'm doing like a monthly wrap up series thing of my pickups as well as things that I've watched, played, enjoyed, vibed with, as a kind of like not only a diary for myself and you all to indulge in, but yeah, I forget what I get up to, and I think having these kind of videos is really helpful to look back on and be like, oh right, I did do that thing. I did go see that other thing, and yeah, so that's why we're here. So to start off with, pickups wise, there have been a few things that came through and went as I am, doing things with my Instagram store, link down below if you're interested. And I've found that lately some pieces come in that I am intending to sell, but then I think this is actually really neat, or it could replace something that I already have. So I sell the piece that I did already have. And one of those examples is for a pair of Yohji wide woolen pants. Now, look how wide these are. You could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, you could fit 5 of my heads in here. How annoying would that be? So I used to have this pair of GroundY. They were 50% wool, 50% polyester, wide pants with a draw cord. I loved those pants so much. I would wear them basically every day during winter to ride my bicycle around. Just a really nice casual pant that also could be dressed up because it did have that nice little look that the wool and polyester blend had. And I recently picked up these ones to sell, but realized these are basically the same kind of pant with a few differences. So instead of a blend, these are actually 100% wool. And that was why initially I was thinking I'll sell them, because wool and I don't agree. That's a long-standing tale as old as time, Beauty and the Beast type thing. So I tried these ones on and was like, wow, this wool is actually fine on my skin. In fact, it feels very similar to the wool poly blend. It's not the most comfortable, but it's also not irritating my skin whatsoever. And these pants are pretty interesting as well. Like, first of all, they've got the inner buttons to be used for suspenders. And they've also got zip pockets, zips on both sides, 2 back pockets. Then you've also got zips on the side of each hem. Now, I keep saying interesting, but also IDing the pants. They are put on mainline. But what was cool was we found out that these are actually from the early 90s. I think it's 93. So that's really cool. They're old pants. They're almost as old as the Toyota Corolla I used to have. It was like a nice little hatchback in some sort of like aqua green that I then went overseas and my parents sold it. So I don't have a car anymore, but it hasn't been an issue yet. So yeah, very cool pants. Are definitely going to be worn a bunch as the weather does get cooler. Okay, next up we have a couple of accessories. Just finding like odd things here and there that I think are pretty neat. This is it's not black, which is, why I still look at it every day and think about things, but it is basically just like a belt chain. It does have Yohji, Yamamoto printed through it. But what's really like fascinating was that the actual hardware is really, well, I mean, I find it like really high quality. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it even has Yohji emblazoned on there. Cool pant chain. Not a chain, I guess. Pant loop, pant thing. But you can just clip it to whatever. Like, I could clip it to my ears. Like so. That really hurt. But yeah, it's a nice little accessory. Haven't busted it out too much, mainly because whenever I am wearing a shirt, you just can't see that hanging down because the loop isn't long enough. But We'll figure it out. It just takes time, you know, it takes time. All right, next up is from Spring Summer 2017, the Femme collection. And this is a funny one. This is a bandage that has lazy Yohji put on it. But yeah, it's a pretty stretchy bandage that you use to just wrap around yourself. But basically it would like roll up like around their hands and up their arms or across body. And it's pretty neat. I wasn't expecting it to be stretchy. I was expecting it to just be like a regular bandage, but instead we've got some stretchiness. And I do like the lazy Yohji detailing there. Have to figure out how to use this because as summer is ending, there's less short sleeves and reasons to, you know, bandage up your arm. But I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. We'll make it work. Somehow. Some way. We'll make it work. Very cool though, very cool. Okay, and final accessory is this Homme made in Japan rayon scarf type thing. It's got a design from, I'm not sure exactly what season it is, but you can sort of wear it around your neck. I've worn it a couple of times just looping it. Wait, how did I do this? Wrong way. Sort of wrapping it around like this. Say if I didn't have a collar, but having it there. I'm still not super sure what to do with it, as accessorizing is not something I am all that good at. I should probably ask a friend who is amazing at it and be like, hey, what would you do? What would you do? Isn't that what friends are for? But it's a really nice piece. I like the pleats. I like the pleats among it there. And it sort of has two pointy ends as well, so there's options. It's just nice having things that you can do stuff with. You can do a lot of stuff with. Ain't that grand? And speaking of grand things, we have another type. This one is Homme and has some kanji on it. Not unlike the other one we have, but the other one is a B Yohji Yamamoto. This is a Homme one. And we have some kanji on it here that reads Hyakupatsu Hyakuchu, which is like 100 shots, 100 hits. Translates to like infallible, never miss, that kind of thing. I think it's awesome. This is one of the ties that I've, ever since I saw it ages ago, was like, that's the one. And finding one at a decent price because, geez, the resale on these is high. Finding one at a reasonable price, I jumped on that as soon as I could. And I'm glad because if you've gone up afterwards at like 2 or 3 times the price, which is, as Britney Spears would have said, outrageous. I really hope that reference is correct. Otherwise, I give up. I give up. Okay, another piece similar to the wool trousers. This is a pair of Yohji Sight layered trousers. Pants, trousers. They're almost full length. So they're sort of like wrap pants. The back crosses over like this. And differently to the other pair of wrap pants I have, you cannot like remove this or order it in any specific way. This is just how they are and how they are built. But what's very interesting is that down at the hems, there's an entire second layer. So you have the true pant leg here, and then this bit that layers over the top. This may look weird because it's on camera like this, but then overlaying with footage of these on it will definitely make sense and be like, there it is. That's exactly what they're supposed to look like. Really like these pants. Again, was meaning to sell them, but then put them on and was like, oh. They're awesome. They're awesome. So I am doing my best not to end up holding on to most of the things that I do get in order to sell. So I'm imposing like a 1 in, 1 out rule of like, if something is truly something I want to keep, then something else has to go as well. So there have been pants that have been posted and there will be more pants that are posted on the stores, you know, to make room for the new blood. The new blood. And I'm making sure that I'm wearing everything as well to keep things in rotation too. But Geez, it's funny when you find something and you think, because sometimes the photos are terrible and the product codes, you don't find any results. So you're like, look, I'm going to take a chance on this, see how we go. And it comes through and you're like, this is actually awesome. And yeah, I'm glad that keeps happening. Well, glad and unglad. I'm whelmed about it. I gotta stop with these stupid movie references. Okay, final clothing piece. We have this GroundY Yohji Hanten. Now, this is made from, I think it's similar material to the circle pants I have. I think it's a triacetate polyester. Yeah, it's a really it's hard to show off, but it's a really interesting texture and sheen to the fabric. The neckline, I think, is just cotton with some elastic in there. But a hanten is a traditional Japanese type silhouette that you wear that you can also close with. It's got a draw cord around the front here so you can cinch it as well. It's very, very oversized, which is perfect for me because I am not a small boy. So it actually doesn't look too bad. I hadn't worn this for a while, and then last week I went out to an event and decided to wear it for the first time, and it was awesome. So I've worn it again today, and yeah, happy to have it. It's just a nice light outer layer to pop on whatever you've got. Very, very relaxed. It's got some weird pockets that I tried putting my phone or something in there, and it just sort of felt like they were about to fall out. So I'm not sure what you're supposed to put in those pockets, but again, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. Okay, then finally, in terms of things you put on your body and things you may put on your feet, we have something you put on your feet. So I have a couple of pieces from this label, and they're a locally designed brand called The Plagiarist, made by a friend of ours, and they generally focus on third culture inspiration and making really interesting silhouettes. I have a couple of pieces, some pants and a blazer, but more recently they brought out a really wild pair of pants and a blazer as well. Very different to what they had initially put out, but with a lot of zips and customizability. Ways to customize them because the zips would go all the way up the back, so you could layer those things or wear half of them should you wish to. Really, really cool stuff. But shoes are something that they had been thinking about doing, and a while ago when they were running a pop-up store in the middle of Melbourne, I did notice that they had this shoe, this combat boot with the logo here on the side that the designer was wearing, and had mentioned that they were just a sample and they were going to do a very, very small run. They put the small run up, sold out immediately, but eventually nothing really came of it. And I asked them not so long ago, oh, whatever happened to those combat boots? Like, did you end up getting them made? And there were issues here and there, so nothing really happened, which is a shame because after discussing with them, they'd, organized things with a tannery in France, a very, very notable one. It's Tannery de Annonay. I'll put the title up on the screen. And then they were also being built by a shoemaker in Vietnam, a Japanese-Vietnamese shoemaker. I think it was called Fugashin Shoes. Really, really cool. Like, I always thought this boot was really, really nice, kind of understated, chunky sole, nice look. The only thing I wasn't super keen on is that the fold, when you do bend them, kind of pushes these up, but that's just the eyelet design. It's fine. Like, I ultimately do not care. And also the heel tabs had broken from the sample. But yeah, hit them up, was like, hey, whatever happened to those shoes? And I said, oh, nothing ended up happening. Do you want them? And yes, thank you so much for these. Would you call it an influencer gift? Probably not. I would call it a gift between friends. So these are a one-of-one pair of Plagiarist combat boots made from full-grain horse leather, and they are fantastic. They need to be at TLC because they have been worn quite a bit, but I just really, really like them. They're a little bit big on me. I just lace them up tight. I'm thinking of, there should be something you can get where you put like a little gel thing on the tip, not on like the front, but on like the tip of a shoe to help hold your foot down. With that in there, I think these would be perfect. I've worn them quite a few times. Though it is annoying that there's no zip because I've become too accustomed to having the Yohji combat boots and using that zip to get in and out of them. But still, a really, really fantastic boot. Really, really thankful I was gifted these. Shame they didn't go to production, but it's a one of one, baby. And who knows, maybe we'll see some shoes from the Plagiarist come out sooner rather than later. Though I don't expect them to be a combat boot, so yeah. If any of y'all see me around wearing these and want to inspect them, just let me know, because they are super cool. Alright, so that is clothing, footwear, those kind of pickups. Let's move on to what music I have been listening to this month. Now, I have to say that basically with this, I forget when it came out, but that Ice Spice and Pink Pantheress song, Boys a Liar, Part 2, that was all I listened to for a few days. It's really like the instrumental of that song is just really like fun and kind of gamey. It's really well done. I really like it. That's what appeals to me the most of it. And I listened to that song a whole lot. And that was basically the beginning of my February, or whenever it came out. That's what sticks out the most in my head. So banger. And Pink Pantheress is just, I haven't really listened that much to Ice Spice. I know that they are everywhere. Really, really cool. They've blown up. Like, it's cool seeing someone like seemingly come out of nowhere and like take a position in the zeitgeist, which is really, really cool. But Pink Pantheress has been consistent for so long, and one of the few artists that are relatively new that I do sort of pay attention to. I think it's like the drum and bass and garage influences, UK garage influences, that really interested because I'm a fan of both genres. So it's cool to see her doing her thing and killing it, and always looking just so comfy and happy on stage with a little handbag and vibing. That's how I want to be. I should get a handbag. Maybe that's what I should do. Alright, and aside from Pink Pantheress, also been listening to more recent K-pop group XG. It's an all-Japanese group managed by a Korean company and primarily based in Korea. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they sing completely in English. Awesome. Like, this group and New Jeans and 50/50 are whatever they're doing with these sounds that are not only nostalgic, but new, but different to a lot of what the other K-pop things, I guess at least in the mainstream, are doing. Awesome. Refreshing. Can't stop listening to XG. Shooting Star and Left Right R&B banger. Just awesome. And yeah, you can just sing along to them. They're in English. And I'm going to go to karaoke and see whether their songs are on there yet to see whether I can sing them as well. But just can't get enough. I can't wait to see what they do next. Really, really amazing double set of songs. And we're just being treated so well with these groups coming out. Very blessed. Hashtag blessed. And staying on the topic of K-pop, I went to my first K-pop show in February. I went to see Stray Kids. They were touring here, and I never got tickets because I couldn't find anyone to go with. And then in the lead up to it, like on the week of, a few people just go. Like, they were saying that there's so many gigs they regret not going to because they couldn't find someone to go with, and it's just not worth that. You should just go to the show because you want to go to the show. And they jazzed me up, and in the lead up to, there were two shows because the first one sold out. In the lead up to the Saturday show, on the day, just looked it up and was like, look, there's a decently priced ticket. I'm just going to go. And whoa, my goodness, I'm so happy that I went to Stray Kids. Like, what a show. I've never felt so involved with a show. I don't know how the K-pop people do it, but like, I didn't know a lot about the members. I liked a couple of them, like Bangchan, I like Felix, I like Hyunjin, but I just liked them on a, like, they are cool. I observe them dancing. They're fine level. But then at the end of that show, it's weird you have an affinity to all of them because all of them have a little chat to the crowd. All of them like do their own little performance. And it really feels like you are spending 3.5 hours. Yeah, it was 3.5 hours with them. And I couldn't believe it. I was depressed for days after that show, being like, why was I so happy that I was by myself? And I didn't know all the songs, but just, yeah, incredible. Like, absolutely incredible show. Incredible production, performance. They are all really, really lovely people. They're all massive dorks. And yeah, just so much charisma. I was so impressed and cannot wait to see them if they ever come back to Australia in future, because like if they ever roll through your town and you're mildly interested, see if you can get last minute tickets. Well worth what I paid. I got a secondhand ticket for the price that it was sold for initially, and I don't regret it at all. Like, incredible show. Loved it, and since then have been listening to them a lot, and now all of their songs are just that much better after seeing them live. And I could go on for a long time, but yeah, awesome show. Rate it. Still love them. Still love the main guys, but now I actually know who Lee Noah is. I didn't know who that was. That was always the member that would pop up in videos and I'd say, who is that guy? I honestly never remember that this guy is in this group. Now I know who he is. Great singer. Fantastic singer even. I will say though, the merch was super disappointing. But I did pick up a keychain and I went and had a look at the merch. All super disappointing. But I did want to grab something and managed to get the last logo keychain. So really stoked with it. And now I have my little memento from the show. I think I have this other one as well, which I just haven't picked up off the ground, but it was like a... It's like a fan sign that there was like a point in the show where it'd be like, raise your banner, and you'd raise this banner and it says, I imagine you in the night sky and you comfort me from somewhere. These lyrics were chosen to show while Australian stays the fandom, and stray kids will not always be together. Looking up at the same night sky reminds us of the endless love and support between us and the promise that Australian stays will always be here for you. Aww. Yeah, really cool. Also, that like... Also, there was like a fan video, which was super emotional. I almost cried. Like, there was like a tear, which I was thinking like, why? I don't understand why I'm so involved with this. I came to have a good time, and I've come out with like an awakening experience. Anyway, I gotta stop talking about it. Let's move on to movies that I watched in February. All right, we're gonna smash through these. I saw Knock at the Cabin, the new M. Night Shyamalan? I don't actually know how to pronounce it. The new M. Night movie with Dave Bautista in it. I really enjoyed it. It's probably a one-time watch for me, but I didn't really know where it was going, and it was unsettling. And really nice that it all sort of took place in this one cabin, potentially the immediate surroundings. Very, very cool and worth a watch. I mean, you will not have a bad time watching it. My friend that I went with fell asleep a few times, which was just like a turn to be like, oh my God. And you could just see them being like, I had a good time. I would recommend watching it when it comes out on your streaming service. But yeah, a fun time. Unsettling. Not spooky. Maybe a little bit gory. I also saw Triangle of Sadness. I'd seen that this was nominated for Best Picture and had heard people talking about it. Went to see it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very long for what it was. and sort of felt that after the boat part, without giving spoilers away, I didn't really like the rest of it as much as I did the boat part. Woody Harrelson rocks. The main two actors, the couple, they're awesome. Really, really like weirdly, like it's funny, but you're not like haha laughing all the time. It's one of those movies, like so many recently, that are commenting on people that are very, very rich and out of touch with everything. It's a good time. I don't know whether I'd say to be up there for Best Picture, but really, really fun. Definitely worth a watch as well. And you may enjoy the after part more than I did as well. But really, really good time. Woody Harrelson absolutely killed it. So funny when he is on the speaker system with this other guy. No spoilers who they are. Just love that. Love that so much. Give them their own TV show. All right, next I saw the BTS concert movie. I'd never been to a K-pop cinema thing, and this was before Stray Kids, by the way, but geez, there weren't a lot of people in the cinema, but everyone was so hyped up. Like, some people were being a bit annoying, but luckily they were not sitting close by. But the concert was cool. It was a really, really good time. It was a long time, but it like flew by like this. And similar to the Stray Kids show, came out feeling a bit of an affinity towards all the members a bit more. I don't know. It's just, K-pop is wild, and I still feel like every day I slowly feel like I understand it more, but then I go to a thing like this and I'm like, I had no idea it could be this. And yeah, although the tickets were a bit expensive to go see the actual movie playback thing of the live show, it happened in Seoul late last year, I still think it was worth it. BTS are great performers, and who knows how long it is before they will be performing as a whole again, because, you know, people have got the army to go to over there. Still a thing you have to do. Alright, next up, I saw the Grand Budapest Hotel for the second time. I don't really remember much of it from the first time, but seeing it again, Wes Anderson is doing Wes Anderson things. It's a good time. If you don't like Wes Anderson, you're not gonna like this movie, because Wes Anderson movies are, I feel like they're like their own thing, and it's a very specific thing to be into, and if you have any beef with it, you're just not going to enjoy it. I liked it. Ray Fiennes was awesome, and probably wouldn't watch it again. I think that style just gets a bit too much for me, and I just want to get out by the end. It's like, get me out of here. Everything is too perfect, but still a very, very good time. I also rewatched Everything Everywhere All at Once. I hadn't seen it since around, I suppose this time last year, maybe a bit later. I forget when it came out. Second time round didn't hit me as hard as the first time, but that's also watching it on a computer screen instead of being in a cinema. Still an incredible movie. That's probably my favorite movie of 2022. If you haven't seen it, I implore you to go see it. You will have a good time. It is just a good time film. Hands down. And then finally, I saw Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania, the latest Marvel movie. That, as always, it seems like it's going to be a good time. And you see the things and you're like, yep, it's probably going to be a good time. And it wasn't bad. Like, discussing with the friends that I went to see it with after, I came out of Thor, Love and Thunder feeling nothing. Like, I was just like, that was, I guess it felt like a waste of time. Ant-Man, this one, I'm glad I'm seeing these movies for very, very little to nothing. Because, again, no spoilers, there's just like, there's all these like big risks and things that may happen, but ultimately like nothing. There's just no risk. Why even care? What is the point? It just feels like a movie that didn't need to exist. And as good as Jonathan Majors is, the actor who plays Kang, who's the new villain for this arc of Marvel stuff, as incredible as they are, and as incredible as some other people are in the movie, it's just, I have no idea what Marvel are doing. And people gotta stop seeing those movies because I don't think they're gonna learn. It's disappointing. It's so disappointing, and the fact that it was a packed cinema and I barely heard anyone laugh or act like there was no crowd excitement throughout the entire film is just... Usually it's hype, like going to see Spider-Man, like the most recent Spider-Man, bonkers. Like that's one of the most fun in movie experiences I've ever had. I'm on the ride with everyone here, everyone's excited. That was so much fun. But yeah, this, I don't know what they're doing. It's whatever. It's whatever. All right, TV, not a lot to talk about. I finished Chainsaw Man. Awesome. I've read quite far into the manga, but watching the show finish where it was, really, really satisfying, really, really harrowing, seeing a few bits with like the ghost and the worm, the snake, Hebi, Marunomi. Awesome, like really cool parts that I don't want to spoil anything, but they do really well. I think the show can be difficult because it is pretty crude and it does have fan servicey elements to it, which I always find really difficult to get around with any type of anime show. It's just exhausting. But this one's different, man. You gotta watch this one. Definitely worth it. Even read it. It's a really, really good time, and there's just so little downtime. Like, we are in for an absolute treat with coming seasons, with who's to come and what's to happen. Baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. I also finished Wednesday. Not much to say. Didn't like the last episode. I don't like it when something happens and they're like, oh, the boogly googly that we gave you in episode 2. Did you know what it did? Nah, but since you lost your hat and you can't get that really important hat back, it's actually it's a replacement hat. So you don't have to worry. And I don't know I don't know how they wrote it like this, because there's just no stakes. If you lose your hat, and I'm not spoiling things, I'm trying to like cover what actually happens, but if you lose your hat, you can't just be like, this item that you've always had actually just gives you another hat. There's no like, oh, okay, then what was the point? It's silly. But anyway, season 2 could be interesting. Overall, I had fun. Inoffensive, lots of black, kooky, silly. Looking forward to season 2 regardless. Just last episode didn't really stick the landing for me. All right, and The Last of Us. What can I really say? We still haven't finished the end of it. It's a great show. We can't really discuss too much because as of this one, there's like 1 or 2 episodes left, so probably save it for the next month in review. But I'm having a good time and watching it week by week. Still loving it. Good times. Okay, we're running out of light. Hopefully stay in focus. Video games. I played God of War Ragnarok finally. It was okay. I couldn't really get on board with a lot that was going on, although I did really like the performances. I thought Freya was incredible. Whoever did that performance, mocapped it and voice acted it, amazing. Like, best character. I can't wait. Well, I hope that there's more of them. That was really cool. The rest, it was fine. Like, I feel like games that are AAA and have so much money in them, and you can tell that there's a lot put into them like that, have me nitpick them a lot more. So when like things break or things don't work, it can be a bit jarring for me. Maybe I'm asking too much. I just didn't really love it as much as it seems everyone else did. It's not a bad game though. You will have a good time, and it's a nice end to that story. And yeah, Freya, so good. So good. Then as a palette cleanser, I played Toem. It's a little grayscale photography, I'm tired, adventure where you literally just take photos of things and travel around this little world and rotate the world and take more photos. It's cute. It only takes about 2 or 3 hours, and it's actually, it's really nice. It's got some nice tunes in it, and you will not have a bad time playing Toem. It's actually probably a really nice game if you're a bit overwhelmed. There's no pressure or timing or anyone attacking you. It's just find these things and take photos of them at your leisure and wander around, and you can beep a horn and surprise people or throw water bombs around. A good time. A really, really good time. Then finally, Apex Season 16 is out. Enjoying it so far. Not really enjoying the meta of lots and lots of walls and scans, but having a good time. Hopefully we can get to Diamond. If anyone ever wants to jam Apex on the PC computer entertainment system, let me know. It's a good time. But yeah, it's dark. I really, really hope that I'm in focus for this. Otherwise, this sucks. But thank you so much for watching. That's what I did get up to in February. What did you do? What were you playing? What did you pick up? What did you listen to? Y'all take care of yourselves. Until next time, stay safe, have fun. And as always, don't do anything I do, except you should watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's a really, really good movie. And also listen to XG. All right, until next time. Bye-bye.